This is homework 18. On the blank, a function is a relationship between two quantities called the input and output. The collection of all input values is called the domain of the function. The collection of all output values is called the range of the function. In a function, there is exactly one output for each input. And blank is a table that lists the outputs for several different inputs, and that would be an input slash output table. Does the input represent a function? So a 2 to 10, 4 to 12, 6 to 10, 8 to 12. It's okay that for the same input they share an output. So that yes, that's a function. Yes, that's a function. And this is no, because for the input of 2, we have two different outputs. We can't input a 2 and sometimes get out a 2 and then other times get out a 3. That doesn't make sense. So that's why that's a no. So our domain is all the, this would be 2, 4, 6, and 8. Our range is 10, 12, 10, and 12. Domain is 9, 8, 7, 6. Range is 0. And this one isn't a function, so we don't really have a, well, we could say our domain is 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's not a function, so it doesn't really have a domain and range. Input here, that's okay. Everything's going to, no one input's going to two different things here. Okay, so yes, this is a function. Those are your domains. These are your ranges. Yes, this is a function. Domains, ranges. Yes, this is a function. No, this is not a function. Why is this not a function? Because for the input of 2, sometimes you get out a -4, and for that same input of 2, sometimes you get out a -5. So that's why that's not a function. Do the vertical line test here. We only go through one point. So that's a function, yes. The domain would be, it looks like all real numbers because it looks like it goes to -infinity and +infinity on the x-axis. So that's all real numbers. Range, same thing, going to -infinity and +infinity on the y-axis, so that's all real numbers too. For passes the vertical line test, so that's, yes, that's a function. Domain looks like it's going on and on forever from left to right, so on the x-axis, so that would be all real numbers here. But our range looks like we're just going from +1 to -1, so that's going to be all y values greater than or equal to -1 and less than or equal to +1. This is a vertical line here, and so that would be no, that's not a function. Tell whether the pairings of numbers describes a function. If so, identify the domain and range. If not, explain why not. Each whole number from 0 to 9 is paired with its opposite, so that would be 0. The opposite is 0, I guess, would be 0. 1 would be -1. 2 would be -2. 3 would be -3. 4 would be -4. So is this a function? Yes. Because for the same input we're having the same output each time. Each odd number from 3 through 9 is paired with the next greater whole number, so that would be 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and 9 and 10. So yes, that's a function. And I want the domains and the ranges, so the domain we'll do, the domains are just all the x values, and the ranges are all the y values. So same thing, domain 3, 5, 7, 9, range 4, 6, 8, 10. Whole numbers from 10 to 12 are paired with their factors, so this would be 10 would be paired with, well, the factor of 10 is 10. If also a factor of 10 would be 5, so there it gets into one more than one, so that's not a function. Because 10 has way more than one factor. Sometimes it could be 5, sometimes it could be 10, sometimes it could be 2, sometimes it could be 1. There's way more. Not just one output for every input. Each even number from 2 to 10 is paired with half the number. So 2 would be 1, 4 would be 2, 6 would be 3, 8 would be 4, 10 would be 5. So yes, that's a function. Domain 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Range 1, 2, 3, 4. Solving for the indicated value, we're just going to plug in a 4 here, so 4 plus 7. So h of 4 would be 11. H of 0 would be 0 plus 7, so that would be 7. H of negative 2 would be negative 2 plus 7, so that would be 5. Same thing here. F of 4 would be 2 times 4 minus 5, so that's 8 minus 5, which is 3. F of 0 would be 2 times 0 minus 5, which would be negative 5. F of negative 2 would be 2 times negative 2 minus 5. Negative 4 minus 5 makes negative 9. F of negative 2 equals negative 9. And our last one, negative 4 times 4 plus 1/2, so that would be negative 16 plus 1/2, so that's negative 15 and 1/2. G of 0 would be negative 4 times 0 plus 1/2, so that's 0 plus 1/2 would be 1/2, and G of negative 2, negative 4 times negative 2 plus 1/2, well, that makes 8 plus 1/2 would be 8.5. 8 and 1/2. G of negative 2, G of 0, G of 4, F of 0 equals, F of 4 equals, H of negative 2, H of 0, H of 4.